Go ahead and make a persuasion check. And remember, you can make this at advantage.
Give me 1 second. I just had to double check my thingy. Oh, nice.
What the hell did
9.
you do? Oh,
That's
I thought
a
that was
9.
2 1s from way up there.
No, that's 7 and a 1, and that's a 9.
You get advantage on the roll, and you still roll 2 1s. Okay. Before I tell you the results of the roll, I want to know the answer to this question.
Okay.
If Liberation sees that his particular brand of philosophy is starting to cause discord amongst the godsmen, what would his response be?
Oh, I'd knock it off. I don't want to shake that up.
The philosophy is, as you're kind of telling your story amongst your godsmen philosophers, it proves to be very popular. And I'll use an analogy here, and it's not a perfect analogy, but if you look at, say, Christianity, how it used to be very, very fire and brimstone, and over time, in more contemporary times, it's become more about the flowers and forgiveness and stuff.
Okay.
That's what a lot of godsmen are seeing this as. Because a lot of godsmen see this cosmic struggle that you strive to toil upwards, but a lot of them like this idea that all of your lives are already a part of you, and you learn something from each one. Mm-hmm. So you move forward and upward at the same time. That's what they're getting out of it. And there are many other godsmen, some of who have reincarnated several times, who you notice are starting to take issue with this. So the philosophy isn't causing any strife, but it's getting a lot of discussion amongst the faction.
Okay.
Eventually, you are approached. As soon as I get my NPC list up here. I just closed it accidentally. I pushed the wrong button. Because I'm the best.
You're the best around, and no one's ever going to keep you down, Burkroad.
You're approached by a mid-level factotum in the sign of 1.
Signers? Okay.
Apparently some of the guys who your philosophy triggered with in the Godsmen have been talking about it. The word is spreading. And Carudan likes how your experience jives with the sign of 1 philosophy of centralness and oneness. How you are already the amalgamation of your parts, and that each life, from your perspective, each life is exploring one particular part of that. He invites you to a party that will be taking place on the 7th, so a couple days from now.
All right.
It is the end of the end of Fest. These signers will be putting on a Beastlands revelry of sorts.
I've been to the Beastlands before.
Have you?
Not lately, but...
I mean, are you telling Carudan that?
Yeah, no, I'll say that and say, oh, I had a different face then.
I forget, when you guys were on Kriegala, did you roll the signer revelry on the table? Did we get to do that? That was one of the
I don't think we did.
No, we did not.
Okay.
You're right, that was a mistake on your part.
But yeah, he wants you to come to this party and share this philosophy amongst the signers.
Sure.
Now you understand, out of character, that we've already decided the signers are the worst faction.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
The
So
Dustmen.
Dustmen are the best.
Yeah, Dustmen are fine.
Serenity and Mahogany. You guys said you were going to look into Jade Bull's connection with the Ciphers.
Yep.
What's happening there? How do you guys go about that?
So I mean, I just show up and ask around.
Show up where and ask?
At the
Who?
gymnasium
Okay.
and ask basically anyone who looks a little bit older, who might have been around back when she was, or like any of the longer lived races.
What about Serenity? Is that her?
Serenity was actually going to just talk to some of the higher ups in the faction.
So that's a good. We'll both be taking a good slice of it.
Okay.
See if things just work out.
How high up, Serenity? Because I mean, the most high up that is accessible just on the floor on a day-to-day basis would be like Ronoth the Romani.
Mm-hmm.
Reese is very accessible when she's in town, but she's not at the moment.
Yeah, what's the Factorum? Is that the rank under the Factor?
A factor. It's Factotum
there-
and then Factor. That would be the Romani.
Okay, yeah, that was the level I wanted to talk to.
Okay. He's a very... The Romani just by nature are true neutral. They're very beige.
Yeah, he's my landlord. I know this guy.
Yeah. But he hasn't been in the
Or was my
campaign
lad.
for many weeks. I wasn't sure. Mahogany, as I recall, you pointedly avoid contact with the Romani if possible.
No, he just keeps. I've actually talked to him probably more than anyone in this group, even though Serenity has him as a landlord. It's just he keeps giving me really bad advice.
Or does he keep giving you great advice and Mahogany interprets it because he's a bad cipher?
I mean, he sent me to a wizard who wasn't a wizard.
That is one of the first things he did.
Mahogany. Asking around, kind of looking for old timers in the gymnasium. Make an investigation roll. Actually, no. Make an influence roll. Both of you with your faction.
Okay.
Mahogany, you've got a 14 in this, and Serenity, you've got a 15.
So we're both rolling +2.
Serenity's a little higher because she's not a bad cipher.
I'm the best cyber. What
Just
are we
a
at? Are
pass.
we at +5 yet?
Oh, would you add proficiency to this?
Yes,
Yeah.
you do.
Proficiency is +4 at level 11.
Okay, then yeah, it's 17.
Proficiency
14.
doesn't go up until 13.
17 to 14. Okay. Mahogany, you get a lot of information, some of it conflicting, because a lot of this is just old rumors pertaining to the cult of the jailer.
Yep.
Around the time when Jade disappeared, in town was the last major flourish of the cult of the jailer in Sigil.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
some of the old ciphers that you talked to remember her, but not very strongly.
So when they say around the same time, like Mahogany's going to ask, so would you say she disappeared right around the time a bunch of Cult of Jailer members got mazed? Like right around that time?
Yeah, basically.
Alright, then Mahogany's gonna immediately go to Serenity and say, like, so, about this whole Jade Bull thing.
Serenity, speaking with Ronoth the Romani about it. He is, I mean, you can't tell if he's being cagey because he's a Romani, or if he's being cagey because this is a subject of controversy amongst higher-ups ciphers. He wants to know very clearly up front why you're pulling at this string after you guys have already dealt with the jailer threat inside Sigil.
Oh, I didn't know it was related to the jailer. I'm investigating something else.
Right, but you're asking about a cipher who was involved with the cult at that time.
I didn't know that yet.
And so he's kind of confused. So how did you not know that?
I ran into some companions of hers from an off-world, from some backwater prime. We're doing some work for them.
And he nods and he says that it's true that Jade Bull was from the Prime. He tells you that it's not his place to talk at any length about this person, that you should speak with one of her students.
Oh, excellent.
Who is
Can you
still a
point me in
Cipher.
any specific directions?
And he says she's not in Sigil at the moment, but when the Factyl returns, she'll be happy to speak with you.
Oh, all right then.
And then Mahogany comes running across the room. Dude, guess what I just learned?
And I'm gonna say, oh hey, Ronoth, did you tell him the news?
Ronoth is totally immune to Mahogany's charms. He rolled a Vesterhoff.
And then Mahogany will relate the information.
On a Vesterhoff-sided die.
So what is the information? What have you put together?
Well, from Mahogany's part of it, he's gonna just tell Serenity that either this Jade Bolt was a really good cipher and knew to get out of town before it happened, or she got caught up in the mazings.
Ronoth told me that Reese would be able to tell me more when she got back into town, so I'm sure whenever she gets back into town, I'll find myself doing that.
Mahogany looks at the front door as if expecting that to happen at that moment.
And Reese does not come walking through the front door at that moment.
Must not be time then. Let's go see what the others are up to.
Okay. So now that we've taken care of the established first day business and we've put all the new plot hooks in place, let's go back to a more traditional action sequence here. So we're going to do evening actions for tonight. I'm going to take down the list and then I will go in whatever order I find suitable. Also, if anybody in chat is listening and is is inclined to do so, I would love to see a mock-up of the places to skip in an Infinite Multiverse pamphlet.
Yes.
So
I'm gonna write
Kelian.
those up myself. Everyone else has their ways of getting bonus EXP. I'm gonna write up places to skip in Infinite Multiverse.
listen, for every week you put some, like, you can't just give me a sentence. Like, but every week you put some work into it and do something creative and archive it somewhere. Hell yeah, that'd be worth some experience.
Mount Celestia.
Every pamphlet is just Mount Celestia over and over and over again. Kelian, evening action for tonight.
Hall of Records. That's the second half of what he wanted to do.
And you're going there to correlate this data about Fred and his expenditures?
Yep.
And go ahead and put your standee on the Hall of Records so I can quick reference that. Serenity, what's your evening action tonight?
Give me a reference for where we are in terms of the longer term goals we were talking about.
What long-term goal? There's a lot of plates.
Like at the
spinning.
beginning of the session, you're like, well, how are you going to spend your fest and whatnot?
This will be the evening of the day that you got back.
Oh, okay.
So there's still a few days of fest. It's the 4th and it ends on the 7th.
I'm going to spend this... at this point, I think I'll be wandering around the clerk's ward looking for trouble to stop.
Okay.
Back real quick.
What's Mahogany's evening action?
So I thought a little bit more about the because it came up pretty quickly. It seemed reasonably important that this is how Mahogany became a follower of Lou. And I'm gonna say it's also how he became a cipher when he arrived in the city. Is he ended up swept up in like basically a dive bar in a pretty nice area of town, and it was like just like the crummiest, like shadiest area, and it just got way out of hand. And a group of ciphers, led by a priest of Lou, which ended up just completely demolishing the place. Mahogany came back the next day, though, and it turns out they had knocked down a wall, and there was just this incredibly valuable art behind it that the owners of the bar then took, knocked the whole bar down, and built a way nicer place. And Mahogany was like, oh, okay.
So then he dedicated his life to knocking down as many walls as possible? Where's this
That's
going?
basically how Mahogany came to the belief that, like, the idea that the ciphers don't have any idea what they're doing is like a parody of the ciphers. Like, something is going on there, and they're actually in tune with it.
So how do you translate that into an evening action?
I'm gonna be spending some time at that bar,
Okay.
trying to get back in touch with what made me me.
Go to the art bar. Okay. What's Riot's evening action?
I'm back.
Now that Riot has come into some money, she's gonna go spend it all.
Is she not going to spend it on the mastheads?
Oh no, she is. That's where she's going to spend it.
Okay, so that's what she's doing tonight, arranging for...
Yeah, going to commission these mastheads.
Now, are you going to spend the whole bank on that, or are you going to try to cut corners and siphon some off the top for malicious intents?
No, I'm going to spend it all on that
Okay.
because it's important to Riot that she actually gets in good with these pirates, because like she has a pretty good idea of what that could mean for her and the rest of the group, and B, like, she doesn't want to make Ostrom look bad.
Okay.
Like, if these were supposed to be mastheads of Ostrom, then she's going to make sure that they represent her in the best light possible with the money she has.
Okay. That's already going to be a stretch because he specifically requested a flayed barracuda, which is kind of a desecration of one of Osprom's symbols.
I see what you mean. Riot rationalizes this to herself by thinking, well, the barracuda was really Zerbo's symbol, and he's dead anyway.
That's how she does it?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, because this pirate, he's like, I want something that says Ostrom, but I also want something that says, we're fucking pirates.
Yeah.
Liberation. What is Liberation's evening action?
Liberation's evening action is... Yeah, what day on the calendar is it?
Today is the evening of the 4th.
Okay, so about 3 days until my engagement.
Yeah. So how are you spending tonight?
Kelian suggested Devil Bar. Let's go Devil Bar.
Going to the Devil Bar.
Yeah.
What is your goal at the Devil Bar?
Possibly looking into a lead on these City of Brass portals.
Okay.
It should be the same bar.
I know this great place on the Hive. It's gonna be, you're gonna love it.
If I get a banana right now, an expenditure of 6 belief points, you guys can do this communally. We'll make it the same bar. We'll say that was a cosmic coincidence that
I only
Kelian's
have one.
there, that
We have to
Liberation's
change
bar.
our belief
No,
afterwards?
no. This is,
I've got two.
I have only one bip.
What if Brick Road? Can we cut that number down if I tell you I came up with the perfect bar name?
no, the name would have no bearing on the stunning cosmic coincidence here.
I'll throw down 2 belief points for this.
Yeah, I'll put down the last one.
That's 3.
That was 6.
That was 6.
I've got 2.
Okay.
Yeah, 2, 2, 1, and 1.
Okay.
Yep, that's the 6 right there.
What is the name of this devil bar?
The Tasteful Explosion.
The Tasteful Explosion. So how does Kelian... Well, I know Kelian's not going to be involved in the scene, but how does Kelian know about the Tasteful Explosion?
Oh, he's picked up some hot devils in his time.
Oh yeah? You were roaming around looking for some tail?
You have to leave now. Go away.
I mean, Kelian's already done this once, so it's not that much of a stretch, right?
The proprietor of the Tasteful Explosion, whatever it was called before that fateful day when some ciphers tore down a wall, the artwork on the other side, one of the reasons it was so valuable is because the person who wanted to purchase it was a devil, a Beatisu of some means. The painting depicted what passes for picturesque landscape on Beator. The frame itself was pretty impressive, made out of solid gold.
Dang.
Why this devil was willing to pay such an exorbitant fund for this red landscape, the old proprietor didn't care. His ship had come in. The Fated had already screwed him on the insurance. The ciphers were like, hey, we're not paying for that. The new ownership of the
Hey,
bar
we did you a favor.
is almost strictly Beatorian. Mahogany, you show up first at the Tasteful Explosion, thinking, oh man, this place got a really nice overhaul. And essentially the bouncer, who is a low-level devil, probably an Abishai, an Abishai is what you think of when you think of like a devil, like a cartoon Looney Tunes devil with horns and a tail and a pitchfork. That's an Abishai, essentially. They're like man-sized gargoyles. And he looks you up and down, and he denies you entrance, saying that you have none of the blood of the nine in you. And just before you can turn away dejected, Liberation comes up the road with horns and a tail.
Oh, hey, Mahogany.
No, yeah, actually, Mahogany doesn't turn away dejected. He just waits there for a minute because he has a good feeling.
And then Liberation shows up.
Oh, you know about this place too? Kelian told me about it.
Mahogany said, like, yeah, I spent a lot of time here. It was a lot crummier then.
Okay. Well, seems pretty nice.
Kelian slept with the proprietor. That's what it was. That's how he knows.
By the way, when Mahogany says he spent a lot of time here, he means he spent roughly 35 minutes here.
Liberation. The Abishai at the door asks which of the nine you serve.
That's literally his response.
If you were a planner, I'd let you make a wisdom check, but you're not anymore, so...
He's shopping around.
Yeah, like I said, that's literally my response is,
How is Liberation dressed for this occasion when he comes rolling up?
just regular street clothes.
What does that entail for him, though? Entail?
Dead on.
Whenever I picture I picture him dressed like Galuf from FF5 in his monk costume.
A little bit, yeah. Oh, no, not like that. No, more like freelancer Galuf.
So, big beard that has its own hit point pool.
No. He didn't have a big beard.
The Abishai...
Doesn't have a big hit point pool either.
Yep.
The Abishai narrows his eyes at you as you kind of stammer out, and he asks, child of the pit, why you know nothing of your heritage.
Because I've only been a child of the pit for, counts on his fingers, 3-4 months, maybe?
Mahogany hugs him close to him. He goes, he's here to learn.
Let's see, it was, I did mark down Liberation's birthday, which was, I have it on the character sheet somewhere. It's on here somewhere, so I can actually give you his age once I compare that to the,
I have Riot's birthday on here for some reason.
Yeah, that's on my character sheet. It's accurate.
I could have sworn I put that on here somewhere.
Apparently you didn't.
I'm sorry.
The Abishai asks Liberation whether or not Mahogany is with you.
Oh, he's a friend of mine.
He tells Mahogany there's a 2-drink minimum.
Mahogany tells him that won't be a problem.
Liberation grins.
Mahogany, do you have dark vision naturally?
No, sometimes.
I do.
He opens the door, and looking inside, Mahogany, you see just pitch blackness. Nothing. No light.
That sounds rad.
Liberation, you see a very well-lit room. It's lit in the center by a giant chandelier lashed together of bone and obsidian. And it's burning brightly with fire that gives off an indescribable color. Every patron of this particular bar is of Beatorian descent. Some are straight up devils. Many are tieflings of all different shapes and sizes. You see very, very... Like, Mahogany would be the only example of a person in this bar who is not.
Rad.
Give me a second to organize this bar in my head.
That's right. I said it was Earth 1. That's his birthday.
Earth 1?
Yep.
I'll mark that here.
Because it was a few days after the festival when Elcyclone died.
Oh, that's right. I picked my birthday on the stupid Outlands calendar.
The music in here is enchanting. It's very beautiful, but not in a traditional sense. The music sounds very discordant in a way. Mahogany, you find it incredibly pleasant and almost mesmerizing. You can't see where it's coming from. You can't see anything. Liberation, to you, the music, it sounds like there's something wrong with it. Like, you can tell it's being played very skillfully, especially compared to Riot.
Hey, Riot's got a plus 13 performance.
Right, but she also plays heavy metal a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
But there's
You
something
play
wrong with
bad
it.
music really well.
You have just an intuitive sense that there's some kind of magic woven into this music, and you don't see its source looking around the room. There's nobody playing or singing. It's just coming from somewhere.
Huh.
Almost all of the tables in this bar are standing tables. And right away, I mean, you have the monster manual to hand. You can look up and see what various devils look like.
Mm-hmm.
Before long, well, let me ask this. As you step in, how do you guide Mahogany around? How is Mahogany navigating through this place that he can't see? Or are you just going to let him bump into, like, pit fiends and things?
No, I'll steer him clear of tables until we get to a table that's unoccupied and sidle up to that.
You realize as you're entering this bar that a lot of the patrons here, various devils, Mahogany is drawing a lot of attention to himself. He's getting a lot of eyeballs on him. And a lot of, like, eye stalks and things. And eventually, you find a table. And you're standing at it. And before long, a Spinagon comes clambering up on the ceiling. And he lowers himself down. And he asks what you'll be drinking.
Something from Dis.
Yeah, Mahogany will say, I'm trying to get my friend here in tune with his heritage. What do you recommend?
You say something from Dis?
Yeah.
What is
That's
Mahogany,
literally-
like, what is his demeanor right now?
Mahogany is having a really good time.
Okay.
Of course it is.
basically Mahogany is planning on letting buying the drink so that he doesn't piss off that devil at the bar.
Okay.
But he figures this will be a really good time as long as he's not stupid enough to feel like he's safe.
The Spinagon recommends the Edvard Tearback. It's a vintage from Dis that, and he's addressing Liberation, that he sure will put you in touch with your heritage.
Liberation chuckles and nods. All right, then. Sounds good.
Mahogany asks if he can literally drink that.
You're asking that out loud of the Spinagon?
Mhm.
And he says, oh,
it's
yes.
Mahogany can, not him.
He says, oh, yes, it's quite delicious. You'll find it very refreshing.
How much?
It's 12 gold for a goblet.
Cool. All right.
Sounds great.
I'll buy this round. You buy the second.
Sounds good to me.
The drink is served, and it's hot. Your first thought is that it's like a very hot cider drink. It has a very smoky smell to it, like meat being churned over a spit.
Appetizing.
Yep.
And there you are. There's Edvard Tearback.
How is it?
You drink it,
Oh, yeah.
roll 2d6.
I got a lot of HP, man. If it tastes good, I don't care how much damage I take. As long as it's under 2d6.
I don't care as long as it's under 2d6.
Yeah.
I rolled 8.
It's
No,
2d6 of
Liberation rolls nothing.
Okay.
It's 2d6 of deliciousness. That's a 9.
A 9. Take 9 points of fire damage.
Alright.
As this stuff has a very acidic draught to it, you can feel it burn all the way down. Make a Constitution check to not regurgitate this very obviously harmful drink.
Is it good, though?
No, it's very not.
It's got an interesting palate.
It really doesn't.
It's got a good mouthfeel. What? That's an 11! That's half the roll. That's an 18.
An 18? Okay.
I was laughing at the description.
You managed to fight and keep it down.
Yeah.
You were poisoned until the end of your next long rest.
That
Alright,
looks like it
thanks.
put some hair on your chest. Maybe you should try something else for the
So-
next round, eh?
Nodal.
Yeah.
You know that feeling you get in the back of your throat? Like just before you throw up?
Yeah.
Imagine a glass of that brought to a boil. That's what this is. It's what it tastes and feels like going down.
Mahogany says I've never had anything like it.
That's very true. You haven't.
Liberation leans over.
That's an accurate depiction of like what it tastes and feels like going down, but your constitution is able to handle it because tieflings eat charcoal and shit.
Liberation leans over the table and just very pointedly asks, "Are you sure you're not a sensate?"
Mahogany says, listen, we've been over this. There's something to learn from all of the factions.
True that. I'll drink to that. Let's try something else. Maybe something that won't
Now,
kill you this time.
Are you guys finishing this drink?
I mean, I said I would pay for 2 drinks. I never said I would drink both.
That's what I'm asking. Are you finishing this drink?
No.
Okay. So one draught of the Edvard Tearback and
Yeah. Mahogany asked if he has any green beer.
any green beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember Green Beer Day.
He's spinning on.
You can't see the Spinagon's reaction because you're in pitch blackness. Liberation, you see anger flash across the devil's face at the mention of green beer.
Tap Mahogany on the arm. Probably should apologize. That was probably not a smart thing to say.
Oh, Mahogany says, I'm sorry.
He says the house regretfully informs you that your next drink will be double the price. And he also asks whether... Actually, he asks why you found the Tearback offensive, noting that you haven't finished your drink. Did Liberation finish his?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you're going to be making all social checks at disadvantage in this scene by
Cool.
being very heavily inebriated.
Mahogany tells him that it was worth having, but it cost him physical harm.
It was what?
He tells him that it was worth having, but it cost him physical harm. Mahogany has a 7 charisma. The best that he can do is be honest.
The Spinagon says perhaps he can recommend something more tasteful to the palate of the lesser races.
Mahogany asks him if he would be offended if, in the double price, he bought one for the Spinagon as well.
Make a persuasion check. Make this at advantage. And note that you're dealing with a Beatisu, so passing this check may still be bad.
It's fine. It'll at least be interesting. That's a natural.
That's a nat
natural
20.
20. The Spinagon Liberation, you see he looks delighted. And he asks whether it would be appropriate if he himself selects the vintage.
We would appreciate your input.
Okay?
Absolutely.
This is going to run the table another 50 gold.
Yeah, Mahogany's paying for this one. He said he was.
Okay?
I took the first one. Go me!
What's Liberation's passive perception?
Passive perception is 13.
Let's subtract 5 from that because you're inebriated.
8.
Very notably, over the course of the next few minutes, you hear the conversation in the room, like just the din of conversation die, and you hear the music cease, and you hear what sounds like a person whimpering.
Okay.
A man steps forth from the darkness, Liberation, and he's wearing a bloodied cloth around his eyes, and you see his lips are stitched shut with heavy thread. He's a very strong man, large muscles, claw-like yellowed fingernails, and he's marching this woman, middle-aged woman, and just a human woman. Difficult to make out a lot of features in the darkness, like hair color, eye color, and that sort of thing. But she's dressed in a very plain dress. And she's marched forth to your table. And you can see that she herself, like just her skin, is giving off a faint light. As once she arrives at the table, Mahogany, you can see this faint light as well, out of nowhere. The Spinagon returns. Liberation. In the man's other hand, the bandaged man, he's holding a sickle. Just a small sickle-like implement. And he holds the curve of it to the woman's neck. And the Spinagon asks Mahogany if he would like to do the honors of filling their glasses. And the whole time you hear the woman whimpering.
Mahogany will say,
Still having fun?
"You're the worst, Recruit. First
You are.
Let's go to the Devil Bar!
No, but I mean, Mahogany will say, he'll let him take care of it."
And Spinagon says very well. Places 3 glasses on the table. And should we roll initiative?
Yep. His Liberation's about to go out, reach out, and grab that guy's wrist.
Oh boy. Okay, let me get my monster manual here so I can get stat blocks for, let's see, every devil? Go ahead and roll initiative on this. Remember, Nodal, you're poisoned, so that you're rolling this at disadvantage. I won't apply disadvantage to initiative for the inebriated Liberation, though.
You won't or will?
I will not.
Okay.
I mean, partially because you were able to see the approach to the table. Like, you got an inkling of what was about to happen before it had a chance to happen.
God, I didn't even have my PHP open. I thought I was going to a fucking bar.
Let's go to the Devil Bar. Liberation, what's your initiative?
9.
9. Mahogany, what's yours?
20.
20.
That's for with the disadvantage, yes.
You rolled one of them 40-sided dice, didn't you?
Mahogany's down.
Mahogany, you're surprised. The Spinagon is surprised. Liberation, it's your action.
Grab the fellow's arm and look to the Spinagon and say, "We just asked for your input."
So you grab the big guy's arm, the one who's holding the sickle and is about to bleed out this poor woman.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Spinagon tells you, I don't know if any of you guys, maybe one of you guys are not in the scene, if you could find like a picture of a Spinagon so everybody in
Yeah, I'll
chat
do
can
that.
see what a horrible
do
thing
that.
this is.
I'll paste it into the Twitch in a second.
Okay. And he tells you that your companion placed his trust in him to select the best vintage from the bar, the best. I mean, it's a treat for him because a lowly Spinagon of his stature so rarely gets to partake of such a drink.
My
And he was-
companion said that you asked you for a suggestion.
And he looks at you, and he has this look of satisfaction on his face. Like, yep, this is exactly where I knew this was going to go. And he says, your companion paid for a drink. Shall I now be denied? Mahogany, it's your action.
Yeah, I can see how this is going. What's the bar made of?
You're sitting at this little circular table. I'm sorry, you're standing at this little circular table. Placing your hands on it, feeling it. It feels solid and cold. You don't feel any grain to it. It's not like slick, like metal, but it also doesn't feel like wood. It feels like it's very heavy, and it feels like it's attached to the floor very solidly. Like you wouldn't be able to pick it up. Even if you could, it feels like it would be very heavy. It almost feels the texture of it like cold, notched glass.
Okay.
I want to point out briefly that Brickroot is dead set on pronouncing Artificer's Artificer. But this creature, whose entire deal is clearly that it has a bunch of spines, he insists on calling a Spinagon.
I want to also point out that he pronounced it Rowan Darkwood, so...
All I'm hearing is that I pronounce everything correctly, and you guys need to get on my level. We're done stalling for time, Mahogany. You got to take an action.
No, it was really great, though, like how Nick moved in for me. Unfortunately, I didn't hear the words that I was hoping to hear. So, instead, are we... I'm gonna say to Liberation. I'm gonna say I'm gonna give him my arm, and I'm gonna say Liberation. Where's an open space?
Where's an open space?
Yeah.
Are you saying this where in a way the Spinagon can hear?
Oh, I mean, I've only got the one mouth.
Okay. The Spinagon assures
Liberation
you.
is totally not getting where you're going with this.
The
How
Spinagon
do you not know where's an open location is? Okay, go ahead.
There is open space around the table, Liberation, but at this point you've drawn a lot of attention from the bar's patrons.
Yeah.
And now that you're looking around, you can see What's another fun devil? How about a Gelugon, an ice devil, standing in front of the door of the bar?
Pretty much surrounded.
You have become entertainment for the evening. But as far as open space, the immediate area, because the spinned... You want me to say spinned devil now?
Spined would be
Spinagon.
It's a
I
Spinagon.
think what he's hoping for.
He's clambering around the ceiling, descending from his tail. So he's above you. The immediate area all around you, though, is pretty much empty. Nobody has closed in, except for the bandaged man and the whimpering woman.
All right. In that case,
I'll say that.
yeah, in that open area,
Mhm.
Mahogany erects a wall of thorns.
A wall of thorns.
It's devil themed.
Is it?
They're like thorns, right?
I mean, he's not a thorned devil.
He's a Spinagon.
Sorry, no,
racist.
Spinagon.
leads to spin class. That's why it's called that.
Oh, Nick.
Alright, let me read up on this spell real quick. So it is concentration. Tough, pliable, tangled brush, bristling with needle-sharp thorns. So you're looking to encase
I'm looking
yourself
to
in the table?
encase us. Yeah.
Okay. By which you mean you and Liberation, the bandaged man, the woman,
Yes.
and the Spinagon.
Yes.
Spinagon just doesn't roll off the
I
tongue.
like Spinagon better, if I'm being honest. Nick, I can't back you up on this one.
Okay.
Spinagon sounds like a 3.8 sided polygon.
Yeah, it's too cumbersome of a thing to say.
Okay. Now, to be clear in chat, not every devil is like a monster of great power. For example, a Spinagon is only CR2. These guys can take a Spinagon. I'm not worried.
To be secondary clear here, though, McDohl should really consider going into bars.
So the wall's not solid. He can move through the wall, except he takes damage for every few feet of movement.
Moving through the wall is exactly what I have intended for next turn.
And you're doing this floor to ceiling, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of sound does this make?
It's like a rustling sound, like it's like, imagine like plants.
Were you opening
Like
a bag of chips?
No, that was I have a bunch of like whatchamacallit, this insulation on the floor.
Okay. You're,
So I just had
he's
it. And I was
playing
like,
D&D in a
that's-
warehouse today.
This is my nice Foley work, and I can't believe you don't appreciate it.
At the sound of the thorns coming out, the woman in particular flinches and squeaks. Moving or staying put?
Staying put, grabbing Liberation, and saying, "Liberation, get the girl, let's go."
Okay, now the bar gets to go. Bear with me one moment. I'm looking to see if I should even have to roll for this. I suppose I should to be sporting. How big around is this wall of thorns? It could be up to, I think it said 20 feet in diameter.
It's close in on us.
As close
Like
in
most
as
of it's
possible?
in the width. Basically, it's pressing up against the other tables of the bar.
Okay, so you're not using the full 20 feet of diameter.
No, I wasn't trying to. Mahogany didn't want us to go to another bar, even if it's full of devils, and kill a bunch of people. That's what I'm telling you here.
Gotcha. So, what does take up the full 20 feet in diameter is the wall of ice that gets erected outside of your wall of thorns. And that is solid and not permeable.
Great.
Liberation, you have a move.
Is the girl restrained in any way?
Her hands are bound behind her back, and the bandaged man has her kind of by the scruff of her neck. Like he's got a handful of hair in the back of her dress.
Break his grip on her.
Break his grip. Make a strength check.
At disadvantage.
At disadvantage?
Oh, goody.
No, this isn't a social check. You can make this.
Oh, okay. Oh, well then rock on.
And even your social checks, you wouldn't make it disadvantage because you're a godsman.
Yep, that's true. 17.
17. So how are you breaking the grip? Are you like grabbing the girl and wresting her away? Or are you trying to like break his arm, or how you doing it?
I'm trying to do like joint pressure break. Basically just.
Oh, the 5-point open palm hard explosion technique.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
You are already grabbed.
So you manage to target the bandaged man's pressure points, and you hear this kind of just groan of pain in his throat as you see his fingers splay open and upward as he lets loose of this girl. And she about falls to the floor in surprise. You manage to catch her.
Grab hold of her with one arm, reach out to Mahogany with the other.
Okay, and you reach out and grab hold of Mahogany. Mahogany, your turn.
All right, and Mahogany drops his 80 gold on the table, says, "We're gonna take the glass, thanks." And
Wait, you call her the glass?
yeah,
That's pretty good.
That's really good.
and he
Well done, sir.
casts transport via plants, and then pulls everyone into the thorns.
Let me check and she does transport via plants. Okay, so we're calling this wall of thorns plants. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Let me check. Does she get a saving throw against this if she's an unwilling participant?
If she is an unwilling participant, she doesn't have to come in. Her saving throw will be stopping Liberation from taking her. But I am pulling Liberation.
Okay. Liberation.
Hey.
Make a grapple check. Make just real quick an opposed grapple check.
It's an attack roll, yeah?
No, make this strength. Make a strength check. You don't have to roll particularly high. I'm just saying if you have a grip on this girl or if she slips you.
10.
So Mahogany grabs hold of Liberation, and Liberation, you feel this girl struggling against you, trying to get free of your grip, terrified out of her wits, and all three of you get slurped up into this wall of thorns.
Yeah.
So before we go any further, I want to ask Destil, I want to appeal to his expertise here.
Yeah.
What happens to somebody who's inside of a wall of thorns if that wall of thorns were to be dispelled?
How'd they get inside it?
Transport via plants?
Let me read that real quick. If something needs to go somewhere and has no place to go, it would normally go to the astral, but Sigel's a special case.
Well, I mean, Astral wouldn't be a bad place, and Riot has some pirate friends there.
Them dispelling this plant is like my immediate reaction as soon as we get out of it was to dispel it. So
what's worse from like a humanitarian standpoint? The fact that Mahogany has decided this woman is worth 80 gold, or the fact that he called her the glass?
One second.
I don't feel like I can answer that because I'm planning to nominate it for at least one bloke.
My read of transport via plants is you spend no time inside the plant.
So where
So
you
it's effectively instantaneous.
Brookrode is so stymied right now.
I'm just trying to think of the most devilish way to play it. Where's your destination? Let me ask that.
Hilarious to happen.
Because you pulled everybody inside the plant. Where's your destination going?
My plan was a razor vine shrub that's outside of let's call it the gymnasium.
So razor vine outside of the gym. Okay.
Yeah, there's razor vine everywhere. The fun, if you want a good mental image, though, the fun thing is that for Mahogany to use a razor vine shrub, he must have touched it in the past, and there's basically a
No, you just have to. You just have to have seen it. You don't have to have touched it.
You have to touch.
I was gonna say there's basically a 0% chance Mahogany wouldn't have stabbed himself on that. Right?
Yeah. As per the spell, it's something you have seen or touched. I'm gonna rule you do have to have touched it though.
All right, yeah.
Because I like the idea of Mahogany walking around Sigil, cutting himself on every razor vine bush. He's like, maybe someday I'll need it. I don't know.
Mahogany, as soon as we go through, he just like nailed it.
Mahogany, 10 points of slashing damage.
Yeah.
Liberation, 9 points of slashing damage.
Ow.
And the woman as well suffers lacerations from the razor vine that you step out of as you're pulling yourself free of this tangled bush
Healing
on a
word?
street near the gymnasium.
Healing word on her.
Healing word.
Yep.
Yeah.
Five
Liberation and I think have the same exact idea. So like whatever he fails with his, mine is going to probably finish the rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cut her bindings.
You notice, how much did your healing word give back?
5.
5. You notice that you speak the healing word, and you're used to this. This is like a low level. This is a level 1 spell, right?
It's a level 1 spell.
You're used to the healing word not being as powerful as, say, Riot's Aura of Vitality. But when you target the woman with this healing word, all of the lacerations seal up instantly. All of the wounds heal. And you see across her neck, now that you're here in Sigil's, the dim light of Sigil streets, you see scars crisscrossing her neck back and forth.
This isn't the first time it's happened, huh?
And she's hysterical with terror right now, and the only words you can make out as she's gasping for breath in between sobs, she keeps asking, is he safe? Is he safe?
Try to calm her down.
How do you do this?
Soothing words.
Okay, make a
chillax.
persuasion check at disadvantage because you're drunk. He's like,
But
well, listen,
and
you should
Regular, 'cause
calm
you're a
down.
Scotsman.
Yeah,
I
you
do,
can
I
make it
do
regular.
it non-disadvantage because it's Godsman. Yeah, it's actually pretty good. 17.
A 17?
Yeah.
You managed to get her calmed down. But she becomes a little more coherent, and she keeps asking you, did Victor send you?
Who's Victor? I had no idea who Victor is.
And she looks at Mahogany for
He
answers.
says, sorry, who do we have to go rescue? At this point, Mahogany's just like, well, god damn it, this party.
She asks you if Victor is still in Sigil, or if he's fled.
We have no idea who Victor is. Let us know where he is, we'll go check on him.
She doesn't understand what you mean. Why were you there to rescue her if not for Victor?
I really
He
wasn't
just
there
says,
to.
this stuff just happens.
Yeah, this just happened to us. Like, just helping you out was just kind of a fringe benefit.
We were just acting within the cadence of the planes.
She looks confused at first, and then the tears begin welling up again, and then she looks distraught. And she asks, what will they do to Victor when they see that I'm free?
Mahogany says, listen, we have a spell for this. We can go find him. We need to know where he is.
She tells you that she and Victor, she is Victor's wife, and they lived in a tiny flat in the lower ward. He worked as a metalsmith, and for the past 2 years, they had enjoyed uncommon success in his business. They were going to purchase more upscale real estate. They were eating better. He bought her fine dresses, but she found out that it was because he had made a deal with a devil. And the devil came to collect, and she threw herself at his mercy. That they take her in his place. And so they did. And she has no idea how much time has passed since that happened.
Liberation takes a very deep breath, and then off to the lower ward with me. Then, Mahogany, take her to your place. See if you can get her somewhere safe.
Mahogany, let's just bring her into the gymnasium, and I'll come with you. Let's see the devils bring her out from the center of it.
So, my last question for Liberation: what have we learned about our devilish heritage?
It sucks. Nothing I want to deal with, as I had suspected. But now, glad to have my suspicions confirmed.
I feel like Liberation has learned too much about his devilish heritage, and he would like to know less.
Yeah, basically.
Serenity.
Mm-hmm.
Out thumping heads in the clerk's ward. Are you wearing faction colors?
For this? Yeah, probably, just because she hasn't bothered to change.
You're not the only cipher doing this.
Make an influence check with the ciphers.
Second, ciphers is 15. Okay. So, plus 6. $23.
23. In addition to the couple of warm bodies that Dwarf has given you to do the patrols, keep an eye on these sensate mercenaries. A small number of ciphers who have heard your reputation have come to partake of the work. So, the first question is, you have the opportunity to now turn this into a kind of official cipher business. Like, if this, whatever happens tonight could reflect on the faction. Is that something you're fine with?
Do the people who have shown up, are they people I would generally trust to...
They're people you're not really familiar with. I mean, they're cipher namers. They're all armed. They're all like, none of them have like an evil spark in their eye. What's Serenity's passive insight?
I'm gonna get me a taker.
I believe it's 11, but let me double check.
Okay.
Yep.
You're pretty sure that they don't mean badly. Like, you're sure, like, they're not out, like, looking to pick fights or cause trouble. You're also pretty sure that if it came to that, like, if you misread them, you would be able to put them down pretty handily. If it came to it...
Yeah, no, it's official business, but I'm going to keep them all with me in that case.
Okay.
And I've got my quarterstaff from the gymnasium instead of my mauls in my back, but it's not being carried openly.
Okay. Very little hardhead presence in the Fest Hall district at this point. Like I said, the Sensates are doing their private security, making sure that the parties are going well. The area immediately outside of the Fest Hall, attempting to approach it, you were politely but very firmly rebuked by any Sensates. They understand your well-meaning, but they assure you that the Fest Hall and area around it itself is already taken care of. They don't need the help there. Is that something you press at, or leave it alone?
Yeah, I'll make one attempt to see if I can't talk my way into. Look, I mean, our factions have worked together for this sort of thing before, and I'm sure you guys wouldn't mind another set of ready to act eyes.
Make a persuasion check, but instead of your charisma, use your cipher influence.
Ready to act or currently acting?
That would be a 23.
23. They look the group up and down, and there's 7 or 8 of you at this point, having brought together some of Dwath's men plus some of these Cypher hangers-on.